A very good day to all my young students who are going to define the future of this world and health. We are going to see a very important topic today, sustainability and strategic management. All of you would have studied this subject from a perspective of cutting the market, winning the competitor. But we are going to look at it from a perspective where as a company, you use the strategy not only to do good for yourself, but also to the society and in the long run, lead to sustainability. So our topic for discussion today is sustainability and strategic management, how they can go in hand. Strategies about having a synergy or balance between the resources that is available to you and to maximize success and fruitful results for yourself and to the society. That is what our topic of discussion is going to be. And we are going to take a very unique happening case study, which all of us need to know, because that is how we are going to save the earth for the future generations. This is called as the Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. It is actually evolved into a benchmark for corporate sustainability. All of us look at corporate and strategy as something about profit maximization, business sense, and nothing that can evolve into doing good for the society in the long run. This is not so. It has been proved by this particular Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. Let us look at it. For this, we need to understand two things. One thing is what is sustainable developmental goals, and second one, how a company like Unilever with its lot of brands will be able to implement or help us in implementing this. So first we go into this first concept which is required for us to understand the entire strategy, which is SDG. The 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which was adopted by the United Nations in 2015, provides a blueprint for peace and prosperity for people on the earth. For this, it has defined 17 different sustainable developmental goals, which will see to it that there is a global partnership between the companies, which will try to end poverty and other deprivations, improve health and education, reduce inequalities, increase the economic growth, tackle climate change, and as well as preserve our oceans and forests. If you look at some of these goals, in order to achieve the last few, we might have to compromise on the first few. So there has to be a tacit balance between doing both of this at a global level by many people in order to achieve this. So a company as big as Unilever, which has got a lot of brands and presence across the globe, is someone who can define and set the tone for such a sustainable growth as a part of its strategy, as a part of its growth. We are going to look into it. So how brand strategy as well as sustainability can be balanced is the essence of today's lessons. Not necessary that your brand strategy should work only for yourself. It can work for the society at large. You can make living better on the earth. That is what has been proven by this Unilever Sustainable Living Plan. We'll look into the details of it. This USLP actually identified the following trends on which its strategy was placed on. I once again insist that this strategy is different from the other strategy because it thinks about the holistic well-being of the planet, the people, as well as the growth of the company in a sustainable manner. And they have proven that it is possible through the data that has come over a period of 10 years. The trends that they identified on which the strategy is based on is there is growth only in emerging markets, increasing population, environmental stress. Because of increasing population, consumerism, a lot of resources, the environment is being stressed. We need to do something about it. The digital revolution, which can be capitalized if used in a proper manner, was also a point that they considered. And finally, the urbanization, demographic change is an important thing that we need to use to our benefit, and that was very beautifully captured in this strategy of theirs. You can see some of the pictures which indicate that these are the trends on which we need to work. in order to save ourselves and the planet. And the three overarching goals that they wanted to achieve is to help 1 billion people. Look at the vision. Billion people, not a few, not about capturing a few markets. It's about helping 1 billion people improve their health and well-being, to halve the environmental impact of the products that they produce, so that in the long run it sets such a corporate benchmarks that the other competitor companies will also follow. And finally, to source 100% of agricultural raw materials sustainably. If you can look at the pictures, the farmers in far away African countries are being taught about how to do sustainable farming. We all are used to teaching only at the corporate level, at the college and other level. We don't think about educating at the grassroots level the people who are going to make changes to the society. They are being taught about sustainable farming. They are going with the sustainable farming, which leads to a change in the corporate product that is coming on the dining table of your house. That is how the impact is seen. That is how the impact of sustainable living plan has been measured, has been showcased, which the other corporates have to follow. The strategy that they put to action required a radical change in the thinking of not only 16,500 employees of Unilever, but more than 5 million people who are part of the supply chain, as well as 2 billion consumers who were using one brand or other of Unilever across the world. And they were able to show by 2014 itself that the brands which were sustainable grew twice as compared to the other brands. This itself is an indication that you do good for the society and you're able to grow your brand also. That is something that all of us want. Any business wants to grow. And if you're able to do it sustainably, then it's nevertheless good. The outcomes, a few of the outcomes I have listed over here. The nutrition value of 33% of the portfolio by volume met the criteria for the highest nutritional standards, that is zero salt. Some of the products that I have put over here, whatever is recommended for good health and well-being, they were able to achieve it through product innovation. And the water impact, once again, in the case of laundry and washing, they designed such products that by using it, the consumers had to consume lesser amount of water. Say for example, the Good Stuff, a stay-in hair conditioner, actually reduced 460 liters of water usage because of product innovation. Consumers were educated about using the washing machine at a lower temperature in order to save energy. Consumers were also encouraged to use those shower gels which consumed less amount of water. All these are minute level initiatives, but in totality, when it reaches to 2 billion consumers, it makes a mega change. So it needs the power and the force of a big corporate in order to sensitize its consumers, not through external force, but through inherently putting it in the products and the processes, so that sustainability becomes a way of life for its consumers and over a period of time to everybody in the world. The other things was waste reduction was less by 12% in 2010 itself. And they also, one of the sustainable developmental goals talks about gender equality and women being part of the workforce. They empowered more than 238,000 women, including 70,000 Shakti entrepreneurs. Shakti entrepreneurs are nothing but rural women in India who were given small sachets of Colgate toothpaste or Sunsilk shampoo by the HUL people, and they were asked to distribute it and make money in the nearby villages. So a village which is surrounded by 20 smaller villages, there will be a Shakti woman. If you can look at it, this is the gathering. A normal gathering in a village household turns into a business unit for the HUL company as well as for the country itself. Educated, uneducated women in the village, both kinds of women were able to do something to make money for themselves and the family. That indirectly contributing to gender equality and participation of women's workforce. The fridge night mission was one of the latest and the successful one, which most of you people as urban consumers must have a look at. It talks about asking the consumers to make food for one day in a week from whatever leftover food is there in your fridge. And how did they go about doing it? Each of the initiative of HUL or Unilever has been incorporated as a part of their product usage or part of the process of using their services itself. So consumers need not go out of the way to do something about sustainability. It becomes a way of life. It is something that they do every day, and it is not a ritualistic practice that is enforced on the consumers. So in this fridge night mission, they provide a lot of recipes in an app, and they allow you to gather points so that you can redeem it for the products of HUL that you are buying. And this particular app gives you a lot of recipes that you can make from the leftover things in your fridge. So one day in a week, when people were sensitized to use the leftover food, they were able to show that nearly 46% of food wastage in a house was reduced. A huge number when you take it globally. Some of the sustainable brands of HUL or Unilever is Dove, Hellman, Knorr and Lifebuoy. We at Albertian Institute of Management also did our bit as far as the sustainable developmental goals are concerned. The students of MBA were divided into 17 different groups, and we called our activities as 17 weeks and 17 SDGs. By looking into the content that is available in the United Nations website on what micro tasks that you can do in order to contribute in achieving one of the SDGs, we identified 17 different such sustainable developmental goals, micro tasks, and implemented it in our surrounding. There was a lot of learning among the students by this particular activity, and I have just shown you two of this. One is sustainable developmental goal, good health and well-being, where we conducted an event in collaboration with the Kochi Police Commissioner's Office, sensitized the people about reducing road accidents by being more responsible riders on the road, as well as against drug abuse. It was well received and publicized in the local media also. The second one was about life underwater. Life underwater talks about saving the animals which live inside the water by keeping our landscape, the land place also clean. So as an initiative, the students of Albertian Institute of Management MBA course had near more than 80 students clean the Fort Kochi beach and were able to sensitize people about cleaning and keeping your beaches clean in order to give a healthy life to the animals which are there inside the sea. This was also well received by the media, local media as well as the social media. So with this, I would like to end by telling that sustainability has to be a way of life, not something that is enforced, not something that happens once in a week, not something that we need to do in order to showcase that we are responsible consumers. This is possible if big corporates incorporate in their strategy itself sustainability, not only for themselves but for their suppliers and most importantly for their consumers. Hindustan Unilever and Unilever have shown the way by coming up with so many product innovations and customer sensitization programs to see to it that sustainability can be, will be the way of life in future. All the other corporates need to follow it. Thank you once again for your patient listening.